the Genesis GV80 Coupe. Let's go. Woohoo! Oh yeah! So it's a luxury performance SUV with a coupe style. We've seen those before, but mainly those kind of belongs to German nameplates. So what the heck is Genesis doing in this segment? So that's what we're here to find out. Hey everybody, my name is Pat and I'm the Outsider. This is my channel, and I call it Outsider because I haven't been in the industry very long. I actually was military, retired 2024, and decided to start doing car reviews. And I quite enjoy it, and I like to keep that going, so please subscribe to the channel to show your support. And without further ado, I like to go right into it. Genesis GV80 Coupe. Appearance-wise, bar none, this looks amazing. And you might get confused sometimes because of the front grille and these little wings on each side of the Genesis logo. Some people call it a little bit generic. I like it. I think it looks great because a lot of people will mistaken it for a Bentley, and rightfully so. It does look very luxurious like a Bentley would be, and it's got, you know, the wings. Yeah, albeit LED lights, everything in a linear fashion, and they've done everything well. This is not what I expected, because in the back of my mind I was kind of thinking Genesis, you know, just a dressed up Hyundai, but nothing about this reminds me of a Hyundai, to be honest with you. Everything is done so well, from the linear lights that actually keep going throughout. Your turn signal will be on the sides as well in these linear lights. It looks very, very nice. Functional vents on the bottom here on each side, and the massive grille. Everything about it is really well done. Appearance wise, it looks good. So the GV80 Coupe, this one is the 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 with electric supercharger that puts out 409 horsepower, 405 pounds-feet of torque through an 8-speed transmission. It's got all-wheel drive because it has a 48-volt mild hybrid system. 0 to 60 time is 5.2 seconds. Fuel economy is about 20 miles per gallon combined, or 12 liters per 100 kilometers. And it starts at a price at $104,000 Canadian, or $80,000 US for just the gas engine version, but for the electric supercharger that starts at $86,000 US. Now, coming from that amazing front fascia, linear lights just keep going, hugging the side and flowing right through the vehicle all the way to the rear. Very well done. Genesis did a bang-up job doing that. That looks amazing. Also, look at these 22-inch wheels. Almost like two different spokes designed into these wheels. It's almost like two rims smashing into one. You got the kind of like the brighter one here on the silver looking colored one, and then you got the darker crisscross action coming over here. Looks amazing. And from that camera angle, you probably can only see like one, but yeah, I'll give you a zoom in shots here, and they look really good. They did a bang up job doing that. Following through is 360 camera. Check, you need that at this price tag. Approach and departure, lock and unlock. Yeah, you got that. You stick your hand in there, it unlocks, you open it up. Nice solid funk. Now here comes the best part to me. That slope design. That's what this car is all about, the GV80 Coupe. The coupe is right here, and it kind of flows a little bit upwards here into a wing, and this is what the lights I was telling you hugs the rear, the side all the way to the rear. Flows right through, everything flows really well. But how much cargo room are you sacrificing? Now in the back end, this is where you get the coupe style, sloping style down here, and the omission of a rear wiper like most coupes. I still would like to see one. Comment below if you're one of those people as well. Genesis badging, all your badging is down here. Also, power opening gets you to, when the seats are up, 30 cubic feet of space. Now that's not the whole story, however, because first thing that came to mind when I opened this is, Wow, that's actually a lot of usable floor space. We know that coupe slopes at the top, so that's where you have your numbers of like, oh, a lot less space than the GV80, you'd be correct. But if I'm using usable floor space, well, let's go all the way. So 44 inches of usable floor space in length. Now from wheel well to wheel well, which is the shortest, so about 41 inches there. And then that's about 50 inches max width. That's very good in my books, and it's more than the BMW X6. Also, very easy to drop the seats. You press the button, you don't have to hold it or anything like that, and they fold almost perfectly flat. There's a bit of a slant there, but it's still pretty nice, and that is 60 cubic feet of space. Definitely a lot of usable space, because a lot of people don't stack up their cargo that high. They just use the floor space. Back seat, total executive mode of comfort from the 38.7 inches of legroom that I have. 38.7 inches is a lot in this segment. Headspace in a coupe is very good because I'm 5'9" and I have over an inch of headroom. Seat quality is the same as the front. So we got Nappa leather, perforated seats, so both ventilated and heated. Power adjustables, so I can go forward and I can go aft or back. I can recline all the way for nap time. Sunshade helping me with that. And I have leather all around on the side as well. There's no cheap plastic to be felt anywhere. Bang & Olufsen 18 speaker sound system, tri-zone climate control. I got tactile, so I've already mentioned ventilated and heated seat. I got USB-Cs, I got 2 of them, and I also have a power outlet if you want to work back here and with a laptop. Also have cup holders with a storage compartment here, nice felt lining, so you can put devices in there. Nothing's gonna get. Cup holders are a good size. Overall, the stitching is great. I love the orange accent. I like the suede ceiling. I like the coat hanger. That's nice metallic up here. Everything just screams executive premium, but still doesn't quite compare to what's in front. Let's take a moment to appreciate the interior of the GV80 Coupe. It's nice, very nice. It's got everything you want from a premium luxury vehicle. Yeah, it's got carbon fiber and it's got nice accent, nice metallic and crystal looking pieces. Everything is leather with some bright orange stitching that gives it a little bit of that sporty side of premium luxury performance. It goes well. It goes well with these magna colored seat belts. Isn't it beautiful? That's what I say. Will you look at that? That's what I say when I come in here. I'm like, will you look at that? 27-inch screen, OLED, all one piece, divided a little bit and to manage better, but you can certainly have it flow very nicely if I'm going all like this. There you go. Nice big centerpiece of a screen, highly customizable. I can change quite a lot of views here just by tapping on this. Also, depending on which drive modes I go with, it's going to change my gauges over here. And you, from drive modes, you go from Eco to Comfort, a little bit more of a bronze looking. I like it. Sport, red, of course, and then Sport Plus, magma color, because we know that there was, or maybe you don't, but the GV80 Coupe kind of started off as a concept, a magma concept. I kind of wish we had that today, but we don't. And then there's my modes, which is customizable. Everybody offers a custom mode nowadays. Now, you've seen me play with this wheel. It's also touchscreen as well. Very responsive. I have all the apps I could probably ask for, and those I didn't even think of, as far as so there's also, with drive mode, there's terrain mode, right? So if I go terrain, I do have snow, mud, and sand. Like you're gonna take this off-road. I will not. Perhaps you shouldn't either. Your car, your choice. But there's also terrain mode button over here. It's gonna give you everything from pitch and angles and stuff like that, and your roll angle, your latitude, longitude, elevation. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you don't even get in some, you know, those entry-level off-roaders that are just, you know, barely have skid plates and all that stuff. Most of them don't even give you that kind of information. So yeah, cool. Also, a great thing is when you're parking and let's say two douchebags decide to park real close to you in a parking spot, you can walk out your car so that your wife and kid don't have to really like suck it in just to get in and just try to get into this. You can walk out your car, the GV80 Coupe, just by pressing a button on the key fob. Pretty handy. I like it. It's all these quirky things, you know, like kind of like makes you kind of show it off to your friends. There's nothing wrong with that. You just bought a luxury, premium performance SUV. Show it off. Show off everything it has. It also has these, also the seats you can manage from here. You can put the, let's say the back seat over there. You can put that into rest mode. It'll just move it and put it into rest mode. Kind of found it, there you go. Let's put all that forward. It's gonna move this seat forward. Anyways, it moves all the seats in a way that the right rear seat can get some rest. Pretty cool, something I didn't think about, but also it's touchscreen, so you can just touch it and all that stuff. And touch is pretty responsive. I just didn't want to block the camera angle. Usually I don't even think about it. Now the mood curator, it's kind of another thing that's kind of, you know, cool about this car, but are you really going to use it? That's going to be a question I have for you guys, my the people viewing it that actually bought this vehicle. Do you guys use these moods? I can see myself using perhaps the care one instead of road raging and smashing somebody. And basically what that's going to do is just play some music, arrange some seats, and spray some kind of fragrance within the HVAC, because it does have fragrance options and everything built in. And it's massaging, so the massage seat action right now is massaging my bum, but it just it kind of kicks in, so it would definitely prevent me from road raging. Perhaps they should probably call it like a road raging stop. It's just, you know, all these things that can make this into such a nice place to be. It can be fun driving wise. We'll test that in a bit, but it can also be very comfortable. So it was massaging my bum, massaging seats, yes, but it's not something that I find good in any vehicles I've ever tested. Massaging seats, it's just not something I've ever been like, wow, yeah, you know what, massaging seats is the greatest thing in the world. However, I like that this will kick in automatically. I was driving my parents down. It was a 4-hour drive. And every now and then, my mother that was sitting in the passenger seat would be like, oh, it's massaging me all of a sudden. So it kind of does it at certain intervals. That I kind of particularly like. You don't really have to turn it on or anything, or have a mood curator on to get massaged. So that's kind of pleasant. I like that. During that long drive, I was also using the advanced driver assist. So obviously it scans your eyes and everything, but you can initiate lane changes. And most of the time it asks me to put my hands on the steering wheel to during those lane changes and such, but otherwise it does such a great job staying in lane, watching speeds, and just making it a stress-free long highway drive, which means that you get to your destination like I just got today on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, and you still have energy to make a video. Cool, good for me, right? Like and subscribe, please. When I mentioned perfume earlier, that's also in your HVAC. You can turn on and off if you want scents to be dispersed within the climate control. So Here it is tactile climate controls. You got the temperature wheels, and you also have a volume knob. Pretty good. You got your fan speed here. It is tactile, but it responds very well. Below that, boom, a concealed wireless charger. Does what it's supposed to. You 2 USB-C's ports and a 12 volt as well. Do people still use 12 volts? Comment below. I'm fine with just USB ports from now on. Big gulps do fit in sports bottle, do fit in these cup holders. Now over here is pretty much my one gripe about this vehicle, and it's a very tiny one. It's the fact that shifter is a rotary shifter. That is not my problem because I can shift without looking, right? Reverse, drive, park. And that's what's key for me when I'm testing a vehicle. Do I have to look down? Now, the reason why I might have to look down is because there's a similar shaped dial over here, and that's the wheel for the infotainment system. Right next to that, there's a fingerprint sensor. So you can program this vehicle to be, you know, you just push your fingerprint, get scanned, and it knows all your settings, knows your radio, knows everything about you and whatever you want that information. I don't particularly mind. I think I'd be kind of cool if I had a car and I was sharing it and I would do that. I find that pretty cool. But comment below what you guys think about the fingerprint scanner. But it's the fact that these are close in proximity, and you know what? I have nothing wrong with a good old column electronic shifter right here. I know that might take the aesthetics off, and that's probably why they're not using that. And it's okay. But I just think, you know, they're very similar in size. Now, I would get used to it if this was my personal car. I only have it for a week, and even then, I swapped between my personal car and this one. So, yeah, there's that. Drive mode selector is over here. Camera angles is something that I love, and here we have a nice 3D map and then an overhead look, but obviously you have way more looks than that, front, back, and such. Crisp quality and screen quality, everything is well built and very easy to see. I like this. I think it's very good for me to see all around me because I can also drag it around if I want to see a different angle. There you go. I'll spin my car around, see what's around me. There's my tripod. Guys, don't let me forget that. It's a good piece of kit. Last but not least, we got a split opening center console with my gas receipts. Speaking of fuel economy, I am now, having driven 753 kilometers at 10.8 liters per 100 kilometers. Now, before I did this long highway drive, I was closer to 11.5, but that's still lower than the combined fuel estimate of 12 liters per 100 kilometers, which tells me that the estimates are truly what you can expect in life, which is not always the case when I'm testing these cars. I test a different car every week. Like and subscribe so that I can keep doing that. But I like this. I like having, especially in the performance vehicle, usually it's way off. And I mean way off. Usually, because I test the acceleration. As you've seen in the video, or you're going to see when I do the driving portion of it. I definitely test the acceleration. So fuel economy, good to have. Comfort inside these Nappa leather seats, and 20-way adjustability for me, 16-way for the passenger. Also, I told you in the back, it's power adjustable. Everything's power adjustable. 20-way, sometimes not the way to do it. Lincoln does it, and their seats are just god awful. I don't know why I can adjust one butt cheek to be offset to the other one. It just doesn't jive for me. They're very firm. I didn't like it. Here, I like how easy it is, the 20-way. It's still, the knobs make sense to me. And I got a tie extender. I got, everything is nice and plush. These have got to be in the top 3 for seat comfort of any car I've ever test driven. That's your outsider tidbit there. Last but not least, rear view mirror turns into a camera screen. Pretty handy, even though this coupe has very good visibility. Now I'm done with the interior. I'm gonna take this nice D-shaped steering wheel and do some racing, or just, you know, some good old-fashioned driving with some acceleration tests. I've got my magma colored seatbelt on, sport mode plus on. That means we're about to kick it. Launch mode, 3, 2, 1. Whoa! You definitely feel that oh man, you feel that shifting. Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. You know what? It pushes me back in the back. It pushes me to the back seat. I like it. And I love that sound. It is such a good sound coming from this SUV. Really love it. Now we're gonna just cruise a little bit more. Let's go down to comfort. Let's go down to comfort mode. Now, while we're in comfort mode, there's a few things to cover here. We have adaptive damping suspension, but in a predictive way. You see, the front camera is scanning the road as you're driving, along with gathering intel from the GPS to basically give the adaptive dampers a little forewarning about what's to come. So your reaction time is even better. Now, driving on the highway at 70 miles per hour, you can expect a 66 decibel level of quietness inside here. Not while I'm shouting like this, but you know, when I keep my mouth shut. So it's a nice, quiet ride that has a perfect balance and harmony of that performance, responsiveness when you want to do that cornering and such, and absorbing all the road imperfections that you don't really want to feel. And you would think those 22-inch tires would do you no favors, but that's what the adaptive damper suspension is for. And it's working like a charm. I really enjoyed it. Also, when I was taking this a little bit, not off-road, but into a vacant lot, I got to do some cornering with it. And it corners really well. The body roll, especially in sports mode plus, non-existent. It has disappeared so much, and it really depends what drive mode you're putting it in. Put it in sports mode plus, gives you more reaction, less body roll. Comfort gives you more of a plush ride. So it's really hard to find that comfort of having a performance SUV and one that doesn't really hurt your back while you're riding in a rough road like I am right now. Now, I'm gonna say this. If I was to shop around, I know in the US you guys have the availability of just going with the gas model, and that's great, but I would definitely go with the hybrid model. It just makes acceleration so lag free, and when you're in sports mode plus, the paddle shifters, you really don't need to use them, and that's because acceleration is super smooth. Yeah, you're not gonna get bored of doing that. If I have anything to say about the driving, just to sum it all up for the driving experience: agile, plush, yet responsive, and fun to drive. One thing though that's also cool is safety. Seatbelt kind of tightens up when you're really accelerating and when you're braking really, yeah. So I like that feature. I like it that it's gonna keep me in my seat no matter what's gonna happen. Downshift is pretty badass on this as well. All right, people, it's sundown time on my last day of having the Genesis GV80 Coupe, and I'm gonna sum it up for you. Great piece of kit. Absolutely loved it. Is it perfect? There are things I don't like. Absolutely they are. Of course I'd like it to be a little bit more affordable, but you can't argue with the value you're getting. You're getting a great warranty. You're also getting convenience maintenance appointments included. You got a 100,000 kilometer warranty. Really hard to beat. They stand behind their product. What do I don't like? Well, it has to be with those dials in the center console. I don't like all three of them being there, and definitely I don't like having two of them being in the same vicinity when one of them is a gear selector. That's the one thing I don't like. As for everything else, I love the balance of, you know, not the ultimate performance vehicle, but definitely have luxury and comfortable ride, so you're not just bumping around. Even though you rev this, it sounds great. You push it, it goes. It does everything you could possibly ask for. And as far as having that harmony of comfort and speed, handling is good too. That's basically where I'm going to sum it up for you guys. It's my last day with it. I'm going to miss it. It's quite beautiful thing. It's a beautiful creation, and I want to hear what your thoughts are. My name is Pat. I'll see you guys in the next one.